Hello my precious soul. I'm the moon. You can see me in the sky at night. Sometimes even in the day, but that is a different story. It doesn't matter how fast you run, because I promise, I will follow you wherever you go, so you will never truly be alone. You see, I am the guardian of your dreams, and I am always there to watch over you, as I have done so for over 2,000 years. Yes, I have even watched over the child who would become King of Kings, King of Men, and King of Angels, so I certainly can look after you, no matter what cloud dares to come between us. I will be there, because I love you so very much, so the next time you feel all alone in the world, just look up and remember, I love you. Now it's time for a story. Do polar bears have a tail? Well, in fact they do. And I'm about to tell you the greatest polar bear tale ever told. This is the true story of Orison, the polar bear. It was December 21st, the longest night of the year, and Santa looked very sad and lonely. His wife Mrs. Claus had just finished making her world-famous gingerbread cookies, but it wasn't enough to cheer up dear old Santa this time. "Here love, have a ginger snap, so you can snap out of it," she said, but he didn't want it. "I must go outside and climb the North Pole one last time, and say goodbye to the sun. We won't see the sun again for a very long time, and I love the sun so very much." "Santa, it's Christmas. You have to pull yourself together. Go make a toy or something. Keep yourself busy. The children are depending on you." Santa smiled and agreed. He went to the toy shop, but a grumpy elf named Nimbus told him to leave. He told Santa he was only in the way, so Santa decided to make a snowman. But he couldn't find a top hat, or a scarf or anything he really wanted, because everything was used to make the gifts for Christmas Day. All Santa could get out of Nimbus was a single piece of coal, because there were too many naughty children this year. Then Santa had a wonderful idea. He would make a polar bear, because one piece of coal would do nicely as a polar bear nose. But they say there were no buttons left to make his little eyes, so Santa climbed to the top of the North Pole, and broke off 2 ice cubes to make them. From that extreme height, Santa could see the beautiful sun again, and said goodbye and smiled, as if he had run into a dear friend. Then the sun glittered a little brighter, and flashed a green spark before it set into the sunset. Santa came down from the top of the North Pole still smiling, but now had a bit of sadness and resolve in his eyes. He rounded out 2 ears, and gave his new snow bear his little eyes. "Polar bear, sweet polar bear, my polar bear below, I guess I'll call you Orison, the polar bear of snow." Suddenly, Orison became alive, and in his eyes Santa saw all the joy and sadness of the world. "My little Orison, do you know who I am? I am Santa Claus, and I can grant you any toy you desire. You can have anything in the world, for nothing is too great that I wouldn't give it to you." But little Orison only looked around and said, "So many pets are lonely, in all the lost I see. Oh, won't you take me to them? Could I take one home with me?" Santa thought how selfless and noble the little bear was, to only want to help others, and to think nothing about himself. And indeed, there are very many lonely pets, and lonely people in the world. Yes, of course, Santa agreed. "But first you must know a few things. When you're cold you rub your paws. When you're cold you rub your paws." Orison repeated what he said and smiled. "Yes, good Santa said, when you're cold you rub your paws, and every cub should know that the world can be so cold." Off they went, to see the world, on Santa's wooden sleigh, but the wind knocked out a present from Santa's magic bag straight into Santa's head, knocking Santa unconscious, and the sleigh kept flying out of control, so the reindeer didn't notice, when poor little Orison fell to earth. Orison grabbed Santa's bag to float down, but the bag got caught in a pine tree, and he fell. Ridiculous presents kept popping out with magical bangs and lightning bolts, and no one got what they wanted before a shooting star appeared above the pine tree, and then the bag disappeared, back to the inside of Santa's wandering sleigh. So the children were angry. They saw the polar bear, and asked the bear his name. He said, "My name is Orison." "Where did you come from?" they asked the little bear. Orison told them, "I came from up above. Oh, please, have you seen my Santa Claus?" Some of the children did not believe him, and asked Orison to prove he really knew Santa. They all spoke at once. "If you know Santa, What does he look like? Yes, what kind of hat does he wear? And what color does he wear the most? But poor little Orison did not know what they were talking about. Santa Claus is the light in all the darkness, Orison told them. Now none of the children thought he really knew Santa Claus, so they laughed at him and made fun of his name. Orison, Orion, onion soup, ho ho ho, off to work they go. What a stupid name. He said, my name is Orison, excuse me while I pray. Orison limped away from the wicked little monsters. He hurt his little paw, but managed to get away from them. I'll pray for them all, he thought. Oh, I can see my Santa, his sleigh high up above. And though the blind can't see you, I can see your love. For you see, Orison did not see Santa the way you and I do. Orison was blind. And as Santa's sleigh finally disappeared over the horizon, Orison shed a single little tear. It was an immaculate tear, and Orison was now all alone. Penny Pincher was a frugal type of girl who was thinking she never gets what she really wants at Christmas time, and she was much too thrifty to spend any money on senseless toys, although she wouldn't mind getting them free of charge. She wanted to know if that little bear could make that bag of toys reappear and work right, so she followed little Orison and saw where he was, frozen from the cold world he fell into. She demanded more games and toys, but Orison became lifeless. Then she noticed his immaculate tear, and it was impossible, she thought. It was so completely perfect. She had to look away as she pinched it from him. She should be able to save a pretty penny with this. Now, she did not believe in Santa, but she did believe in diamonds. It started to snow because moon tears simply become snowflakes when they fall over sad people in the winter. But being the moon, I could spy on her down through the clouds, and I could see she was heading to town. And so she took his immaculate tear and went to the worst kind of place imaginable, the local pawn shop. There she met Mr. Roy G. Biv, a sinister-looking man who owned the pawn shop. Upon the shelves, Penny could see all the things poor people had to sell to keep their dreams alive. What an awfully rotten place. Good day, Mr. Biv, I am Penny Pincher. Would you please tell me how much could I get for this? Penny then revealed the immaculate tear, which was so cold in fact that it became harder than a diamond. Come now, she demanded, how much is it worth? Mr. Big was gobsmacked. He knew something was impossible, but his little mind just couldn't grasp it. He thought for a moment he saw happy memories in the diamond. He started to see everything he ever forgot. Everything in life he had passed by was here as real as if it were happening now. Roy begged her, Miss Pincher, please, take anything you want, just leave me the diamond. She laughed. It is only a tiny tear, she said, but he didn't care. He became lost in its beauty, and she now had all the power in the world to get any gift she ever wanted. But when she left the pawn shop, she didn't realize all the color in the world was attached to that little tear. In fact, the Statue of Liberty could not even light her torch, and Big Ben lost his noble chime, and no one noticed that all the color in the world was gone, or that all the music in the world was gone, or even that all the love in the world was now trapped inside that wretched pawn shop. No one remembered what was missing, or that anything was different. But Penny Pincher, in just a few hours, had everything any little girl could want, games and toys, and any coupon she ever dreamed of. She bought 7 sensible grey dresses on sale and used 7 coupons. She bought 6 pairs of simple black and white shoes, and got 1 grey pair for free. But she sure was lonely. Nothing seemed fun, and she simply was not happy. Maybe she made a mistake, so Penny ran back to the pawn shop. But Mr. Biv didn't even notice her. He was mesmerized and transfixed on Orison's immaculate tear. He heard her beg and plead, but only when he realized she was asking for the tear back. He grew angry and crazy and screamed, "No, no, no." Penny was very afraid of him, and so she ran away in tears. Wars were coming, because no one was happy. The shadows in the world grew longer, and although the sun and moon do not cast a shadow, we still felt sad for the world.